For the last couple of years, I've been working as an abstract painter, thinking about color as kind of the primary focus of my work. I've been really interested in thinking about painting as a dialogue between colors. So when I put colors down, I think of them kind of conversing with each other or being connected in a way that is really interesting to me, and I feel like through this process I'm able to create my own language. I like to invent a lot of colors when I'm painting. I like to use a lot of neutrals, or at least think about neutrals as a tool to help me move across the painting. I like maybe having like a neutral in the middle can help you connect to like a yellow or a green on the other side of the painting. So it's kind of hard to talk about the exact way that I choose my colors because it's very just intuitive and just like in the moment.
Libby has an absolute wonderful relationship with color, and I think when I look at her work, I think about, you know, so many artists that I love throughout the history of art who just had such a facility with color. And she's looking at the landscape and making larger paintings that are about the landscape but don't describe it, don't depict it. And I think she's become much more interested in creating spaces that are immersive or that you can imagine projecting yourself into.
For her work now that we're seeing is totally different than the work we saw submitted. She went to New York. Libby challenged herself and her own expectations in creating new work. Her new work is entirely, not entirely different, but you know, very much progressed. We're happy to see that Libby has really moved forward and stepped up and taken this as a really good challenge to create more meaningful work, to create more work that has different applications, to really apply yourself in different ways.
I've always had this really strong desire to travel to a lot of places, to live in a lot of places. And now that I am back in Tulsa, I feel like at least for a while, I felt maybe less connected to some places that I maybe would have liked to be. Now, though, after having lived here for a while, I'm very happy to be here. I like a lot of things about the city, but I think there is still this part of me that wants to explore a lot of places and wants to, I guess, just see what's out there that I've never experienced, because I know that there's so much, you know, that I have yet to like experience. And so my artwork, I think, is a reflection on that.
She did a residency this summer and had 7 weeks. You know, what a privilege to have 7 weeks to just really devote to painting. And she said she was really surprised that she could even paint that long, but that she would eat and then go to her studio and stop and eat again and then go back and work until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And it really comes out in the work, you know. It's, I won't say that it's more sophisticated, but it's rigorous in a new way. And I think she's finding ways to use the surface of a canvas to tell very different kinds of stories and to move your eye in a very imaginative way.
So my idea for my Spotlight project for Momentum is to create a number of invented spaces that react to different scales. So I wanted to create paintings that were really big so that I could really fit myself into the paintings. I based the paintings around the size of my own height and figure, so that when I was painting them I could really feel like I was able to like work my way through them as if I was actually in the kind of the space that I was creating. And my other part of the project was I wanted to create work on a smaller scale, so that when the viewer's kind of walking through my body of work, they can step back and look at the larger pieces and then also feel like they have to move forward to look at the smaller works on paper. I think that I can get a lot of detail in the smaller work that I maybe wouldn't be able to achieve in the larger work. And so for me, that's interesting to have this variety of like materials and textures and colors that I can get out of a variety of things.
Libby's creating space that is real but fictional, you know. She's creating a place to enter into and kind of imagine a vast landscape.
I would say that I think the viewer should be able to have a similar experience when they view these large pieces that I do. Obviously they're not involved in making the art, but they're definitely, you know, around the same height as I am, and so they should be able to enter the spaces in a similar way. They should need to step back farther than they might for like kind of an average size painting. Step back farther to really like take in everything. Another thing about my work, besides the color, is I do put a lot of detail. I get really excited about building up spaces into a lot of detail. And so that's definitely something that you do need to step back to then see everything together, but then you can also get in close if you find spots that you like the best and kind of see what's going on and what like kind of color conversations are happening.
I'm really excited about what she's got going and the things that are happening in the work, and she's got a beautiful studio and a year to really focus on this new body of work. So I think this is a perfect moment for her to bring it out and to show 3 new paintings. I think will be what she ends up exhibiting. So it'll be fun to see.